युवाओं की आशाओं, अपेक्षाओं और आकांक्षाओं को सच कर रही है, नए भारत की कसौटी पर खरी उतर रही है।
ये पॉलिसी 21वीं सदी के नौजवानों की सोच, उनकी जरूरतें, उनकी आशाओं, अपेक्षाओं और आकांक्षाओं को देखते हुए बनाने का व्यापक प्रयास हुआ है।
Okay, so good afternoon, cadets. We are here to see the National Education Policy 2020. So first of all, I would like to inform you that this National Education Policy was firstly been applied in 1968 by Indira Gandhi. During the time of Indira Gandhi, this policy was been started. Then the second time it was been during the time of Rajiv Gandhi, okay, in 1986. So firstly, the education policy was framed in 1968, and then after that it was framed in 1986 during the time of Rajiv Gandhi. And then in 1992, it was modified during that time of P.V. Narasimha Rao. At that time also this national education policy was modified. And now in 2020, this national education policy is being framed. It took 5 years to see each and every thing minutely. So now we are here to see what all it holds in this national education policy for 2020. So the curriculum and pedagogy is been stated here. I will just show you. So you can see, students, that it is transforming curriculum and pedagogical structure. You know, before this policy, the existing academic structure was 10 plus 2. You all have seen it was basically what, students? It was 10 plus 2. Clear? But right now, if you can see on the screen, very well it has been explained that it is not now 10 plus 2, it is 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. Okay? So it has been divided into 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. Now what is this 5? 5 is called as a foundation stage. Foundation stage. You can see that 3 years, 5 is divided again into 3 years as well as into 2, again into 2 years. So 3 plus 2, I will explain you in detail. And then further, you can see that there is a preparatory stage, and in preparatory stage, the year is 3. Again, it is middle stage, and then again, secondary stage of 4 years. So basically, this was the structure. Previously from 10 plus 2, now it is to 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. So you know, basically the foundation stage is the minimum stage when we go for for class 1 and class 2. So now it has started the 3 years onwards, the child will go to the Anganwadi or Vatika, Bal Vatikas. The age group is 3 to 6 years. Now this is important, students, that now the student will go, the child will go at the age of 3, and 3 to 6 year is called as the Anganwadi. They will go in Anganwadi or Bal Vatika, and then the next 2 years will be class 1 and class 2. Okay, and the age group is 6 years to 8 years. So you remember your ages, that when you were small, so at which age group you have joined. Now the scenario is totally changed. Now the child will be going at the age of 3 until 6 years. They will be in Anganwadi and Bal Vatika, and then for next 2 years, class 1 and class 2, they will be in the age group of 6 to 8 years. So then the next stage comes is 3 years. 3 years is from the age group of 8 to 11 years, wherein the child will go to class 3 to class 5. Clear? Then again next 3 years, the child will be in which class? 6 to 8. So the age group will be 11 to 14 years. And then the 4 years plan is from class 9 to class 12, wherein the age group is 14 to 18. So this is basically about the main changes which they have framed for this particular policy. Now they comes is, I will just show you how this has been explained. Now, reduction in curriculum. Now, what they have decided is that they will be core essential, means curriculum in all subjects to be reduced to its core essentials, means it should be more and more to the core essential, not being very varied. It should be more and more core essential. Then critical thinking. The focus on critical thinking, inquiry, discovery, discussions, and analysis-based teaching and learning method for holistic development. For holistic education and development, now we will follow which policy? That is called as the NEP, under which wherein we are taking the critical thinking. The next is the classes will be interactive. They will be more focusing on interacting teaching and reduce dependencies on textbook learning, and questions from students will be promoted. Means the students should give an opportunity to have the interaction through their own self-designed questions. Then there comes this experiential learning, where there'll be fun, creative, collaborative, and explorative activities will be there in classroom for the experiential learning as well as for the deeper students learning. So this is basically what they have decided is they have framed this policy for the student point of view. I mean, the student should not be burdened with the subject. It should be like subject to be taught, but in a very core essential part. What is the crux of that whole thing? And then let it be in a more and more experimental form. Okay, so this is the way they have framed. Now you can see very well in the next slide. It is innovative pedagogy, transferring teaching learning process. Now they have done this thing in a very different way. Number one is experiential learning, where there is that focus on experimental. Then there comes is inquiry and discovery based teaching learning methods will be there. This more and more students should involve themselves in discovery and the new topics and how to take it in a better learning way. And there is integrated pedagogy. There is arts, sports, storytelling, and ICT. Because these things were considered to be as co-curriculum in previous time. So we were more focused towards our curriculum activity, more towards our more studies and all. But now they have said that art, sports, and storytelling, they should be counted in that activities. Promotion of peer tutoring means the peers, when the peers are helping their own friends, that makes a remarkable change. So they are interested in this type of learning rather than just the teacher and student. Then equal weightage. No hard separation between the curriculum, co-curriculum, and extracurriculum. Means there should be equal weightage. Means if you are taking part in curriculum, if you are taking part in co-curriculum or in extracurriculum, it should be equal weightage. Otherwise, you have seen the students who are good in sports, they were focusing on sport, but along with sports, they have to focus on studies also. It was so difficult for the student to do all the things together. But now this policy has framed that the equal weightage should be given for the child. Then the bagless days means there should be a bagless day which scheduled in the academic calendar. And then IT means more and more technology should be used. So integration of technology enable pedagogy in 6 to 12. Now, you know very well, computer is already you people are handling these days. But this is not about computer. This is not about, we are talking about technology. Now they will be adding coding languages. They will be teaching coding from class 6 onwards, which used to be in senior classes. But now they are saying that coding will be starting from class 6 onward. The student should be aware of coding. That is the main thing. Now you can see very well the next step over here is textbook with local content and the flavor. Means all textbook to contain only essential core material while capturing any desired nuisance and supplementary material as per local context and need. Means the textbook will be framed in such a way that suppose any topic is there, the core knowledge of the topic should be there. No, nothing apart from it. Otherwise, you have seen there are so many things. You read the whole chapter and you are just thinking that what was there important in this chapter I'm not getting. At times it happens in different subjects with you or not. So now they are saying the textbook will be framed in this way. The next is states to prepare their own curricula and textbook based on NCERT curriculum and textbooks incorporating state flavor and material as needed. This, as per different states, they can frame their own structure. That is also good. The things which has been useful for your state, you should take those things which has been incorporated in your state. We can frame such type of things. Then there comes as affordable, high quality and energized textbooks to be provided along with the free digital version on Diksha platform. So there is a Diksha platform, you all know about it. So on that, it should be the free digital versions will be provided. Suppose the child is not able to get the book. You have at times many issues. The bookstore is very far or you're not able to get. So online, you can see the things and download the things. It should be provided in this way. Then concreted effort through through suitable changes in curriculum and pedagogy to significantly reduce the weight of school bags and textbooks. So their main emphasis is to make the bags lighter. And then in the next slide, you can see very well transforming the culture of assessment. Now, the assessment culture is also going to be changed. There is continuously tracking of learning outcome of each child. Since now the students are involved in various activities, so what will happen? There will be a continuously monitoring that whether the child is getting or not. The teacher will come to know easily when the child is being monitored throughout. So continuously evaluation will be there. Board exam to be flexible with assessment of essential skills. So the more details they will be letting us know very soon, but there will be a change in board exam pattern also. Then assessment to focus on core concept, high order and foundational skills. So more assessment will be focused on your all skill based learning and all. Then National Assessment Center is there, will be helping us in bringing greater synergy in board exams and conducting by various boards of assessment. Then self-assessment will be there, peer assessment will be there, and then they will be working on common aptitude test and all. His main concept is that there will be a change in assessment pattern also. So if there is a change in learning pattern, so there is a change in assessment pattern also. Then this is also most important thing which they have brought up in the NEP 2020, that is multilingual and a power of language learning. You know, the medium of instruction up till grade 5, the child will be in grade 5, and preferring till grade 8 and beyond will be in home language, mother tongue, or local language. Suppose the child is from Maharashtra and the child is studying in Chandigarh. So it's very difficult to adopt Punjabi language over here. So they have promoted that the child will be following the home language, whatever it is, till grade 8. So what a good option. The child is comfortable in their home language, so they will be promoted in that way. So they are working on it. Then the languages of India, a fun project, activity on to be taken by every student. So Hindi will be promoted more and more on this basis. So the fun project will be there, activities will be there, which is to be taken up by every student. And 3 languages to be taught will be decided by state and UT. So which 3 languages by each state will be deciding that which 3 languages will be there. Okay, it can be the mother tongue of the child or the English or Hindi or whatever it is, it will be decided by the state and the UT. All classical languages will be widely available in school as options. So all the classical languages will be available for the students in. So the next here is integrating vocational education at all levels. You know, students, till now there was no vocational things. You know, you used to do SUPW period, you have to do this little bit of knitting and sewing. This was just a part of it. But now the education policy is saying that vocational education should be involved. So what it is, that a practice-based curriculum means a practice-based curriculum for grade 6 to 8 to be appropriately designed. They are designing that for 6 to 8 the curriculum in such a way which has been based on vocational thing. It should be properly been for classes 6 to 8 to be designed. Then skill gap analysis, focus area based on skill gap analysis and mapping of local opportunity. You know, students, at times if you learn the basic skills at school level, and when you go out from when you are grown up and you are moving out, so you have such a very variety to do much ahead in your career point of view, because you know you have learned the skill, so that can be further used. Then open distance learning mode means courses to be offered through open and distance learning mode, means they should be like online classes, like these days online we are following. So open distance learning means the child can learn educational thing from vocational thing from anywhere. So open distance learning mode will be there. Then exposure to vocational education. By 2025, at least 50% of learner shall have exposure to vocational education. This is the target which they have decided. Means 50% at least learner should be exposed to the vocational education. And Lok Vidya. Lok Vidya knowledge developed in India will be made accessible to the students. So this is basically the, like we call the education as Vidya. So Lok Vidya means talking about Indian concepts. So the knowledge will be provided to the students, and everything has been framed on that basis on vocational education and will be informed to the student. Then skill framework, national skill qualification framework will be detailed further for discipline, vocation, and profession. So they all are working in framing all these concepts, that all these things should be kept in mind. And vocational crafts mean all students from class 6 to 8 will intern with local vocational experts such as carpentry. Carpenter work is there, gardener, potter, artist, etc. So this type of a craft work will be introduced to the students, so that the students should know about it, that what actually this policy holds. I hope you will work on it now. Okay, so I will be providing the material to you in the group, and then what you have to do is that you go through it and see more, explore more, and then share it on social media, and let me know how you're going through it, and send the videos, and then we will work on it. So this was the agenda of the meeting, to know more about national education policy. Okay, thank you. But the thing is, I think if you will share it on your own social media, that is also fine. I will even share the hashtag with you, how to go about. I will share it in the group itself. And if you want to share with me also, it's fine. I will share it on the YouTube channel of our NCC, Kamal NCC. Okay. But wherever you are sharing, I want to see the name of the cadets, a cadet like Sia Gupta. And this is my link. Okay. So in this way, you will share that link with me. Fine?
Excuse me.
Yes, beta. Yes.
Ma'am, could you send the slide on the group also? Ma'am, the one which you just showed.
Beta, I will send you 3 things. Number 1, one video, and 2 presentation. The second presentation also for you to understand in more detail. Okay, 2 PPTs I will share with you. Okay. So thank you so much.